Knock, knock. Whoa. Is it new to you to do that? Okay. We have a lot of woo-hooing to do, but today comes to the time of some boo-hooing because we are going to be partying. But let's go back to the woo-hoos. Jackie has some pretty exciting information to share with us.
All right, ladies, something I didn't do last night, but I will right now. In your packets, you had envelope, a little blue one, and this little pink and white one from the Women's Healing Empowerment Network. The little pink one talks about they're having a conference next weekend up in Spokane called the Being There Conference. I've been there. I was there 2 years ago, and it's really awesome. And our speaker, is Cheri this year's the keynote speaker. But don't tell her I told you, all right? She's going to be speaking. Anyway.
I wasn't too worried about it till I found out she's going to be introducing me. Now I'm worried.
And you know what? I didn't find out I was introducing her till she read her email, and I didn't. So, we'll have fun with that one. Anyways, well, would you like to know how much we collected yesterday? And that is just here. It's not counting the satellite areas. So you people at the satellite areas, thank you very much, too. And yours will be added onto this. Drum roll. Ready? All right. I love it. Yeah, Patrick. All right. $3,139.32. Amen. Amen. So if you feel like continue giving, feel free. All right? Thank you very much.
Exceedingly abundantly beyond we had hoped for. Thank you. All right, when you came in, you found these fabulous hot pink evaluation forms. Let me tell you something. This committee cannot wait to get their hands on these. I'm going to be having them over to my home on Tuesday evening for our annual little debriefing and celebration, and they actually go silent as they're pouring through these evaluation. We take them seriously, so please fill them out and leave them in the basket on the registration table that's out there. You may still turn in prayer slips into the prayer boxes if you would like to. There are blank ones here. You could write it on any old scrap of paper. Tuesday evening when we get together, one of the things we will do is lay our hands on these boxes and pray for the prayer requests that are in there. We won't be reading them, so you can pour out your heart, but we will lay our hands on the boxes, pray for these requests, and then ultimately we will just burn them because we have never felt like we could just throw them in the trash. It's never seemed right. So that's what happens every year. All right, there's another tradition, and that is if you would like to take your name tag out and exchange it with somebody and say, I'll be your prayer partner for this next year or for this next month. That's a fun thing if you would like to do that. I want to tell you briefly, one of the things that Women's Ministries has been doing in our conference for the last 4 years is an annual mini mission trip. Because not all of us can go to Africa. They had me in Costa Rica doing evangelism this last spring. That was a big thing for me. Not all of us can do that kind of thing, but we maybe could go to Central Point for 3 days, right? So we've started this, the first $1,000 off of our annual North American Division Women's Ministries offering that takes place in July. Oregon Conference gets 40% of that. 30% goes to the union level, 30% to the North American Division. From our portion of it in the Oregon Conference is generally around $6,000, something like that. The first $1,000 comes right off the top, and it goes to some church that's willing to be aggressive in their communities for the Lord. And so these churches organize all kinds of things, and there's just a high impact weekend in that community, and people come from all over the conference to help, and it's amazing what happens. First year was in Florence, second year was in Sweet Home, third year was in Canyonville, thank you, and this last year was in Central Point. So we don't have anybody lined up for 2014. If you are interested in getting a check from me for $1,000, not for me personally, of course, but there are some orange information slips out there on how you could host a mini mission trip in your community. Something that was so fun in Canyonville was they have continued those contacts, which of course is the idea, continued with the projects. And a few months after that the community impact weekend, they got a phone call from City Hall and let the organizer know that the Seventh-day Adventist Church had been named Citizen of the Year in Canyonville. Even over Seven Rivers Casino. So we thought that was pretty good. And then the word got out, and somebody was telling me yesterday that the mayor of their town heard what had happened in the other town and called the Adventist church and said, can you guys have a group like that in our town? So it's spreading. And how fabulous is that the churches in these communities are known for reaching out and make a difference in their communities. So talk to me if you have an interest in participating in that. I promise you I will find a second $1,000 if there's the interest in doing 2 this year instead of just 1 in 2014. We have taken a new tack with finding our speakers in the Oregon Conference. And it was kind of based on what happened with Elizabeth, because she came to camp meeting, and you knew her then because she'd been at camp meeting, and you wanted to come to retreat and hear her. And she had credibility with the leaders around the conference because they had heard her at camp meeting, and she had been a camp meeting speaker. So I was thinking, you know what? Not only do we need more women speakers at camp meeting. Yes, thank you. Then if that person had been a speaker at camp meeting when we had her at retreat, it just gives our whole ministry with Women's Retreat some momentum and emphasis, or whatever that word is. And we want to be as effective as possible. So I went to our president and told him my vision. We need more women speakers at camp meeting. And we would like to be able to draw from the speakers at camp meeting for Women's Retreat. So I went to him with a couple of names, but there was one in particular that I had in mind. I told him, this woman has the credibility to be a speaker at camp meeting. And the women, and she has the ability to relate to a women's retreat situation. Our women already know her and love her. Last year, one of our speakers did an amazing presentation on women in the Bible. She talked about the Sabbath. She gave her own personal testimony. She's going to do the devotional series at camp meeting, and she's going to come next year to our retreat. From Andrews University, Dr. Joanne Davidson. I know you'll give her a warm welcome when she comes. This year, of course, has been pretty amazing and abundantly beyond what we asked or imagined. I want to tell you that last year the retreat doesn't end for me until the ladies leave my house on Tuesday night. And so last year on Tuesday night, I collapsed in my bed and was so thankful to be there. And it was at that moment that the Lord gave me this vision for why can't we have satellite sites just like with the Net series? And I just said, Lord, could you wait until morning? Because then I was half the night, dreaming about this. So anyway, I'm kind of scared for Tuesday night. Y'all pray for me. And my team is scared for Tuesday night, too. They're like, what's going to happen next? But anyway, we really appreciate that Elizabeth was here and that she shared a vision for the satellite sites and being able to make that happen and working with us on how to make that happen. And so we're not going to spend a lot of time thanking a lot of people. We're not going to thank anybody except for Elizabeth. Would you come up here just for a minute? Just for one little minute. Oh. I knew better than to ask her permission for this. I just did it in front of all of you, so she couldn't say no. We have a little card that we've signed as a committee, And we have your check for your expenses, the donation to your ministry that you requested, and so forth. But we wanted to do one little thing extra. And
I'm not single.
and because she was willing to do that to JC, we knew we could get away with this.
What's that?
Well, there's a gift card. And we thought about, Barnes and Noble and Amazon, and we thought, what would be just the right thing? We wanted to... The card has a picture of a bicycle on it. The gift card is something that not every group would be able to do for you. A camp meeting would not do this for you. A group at Andrews University would not do this for you, but a women's group want to celebrate that you are
I'm scared.
We just want to celebrate that you're a beautiful woman. We want you to find yourself something beautiful at Victoria's Secret.
Thank you. I can tell you who else is going to be happy about this. Thank you so much.
We want to be as memorable as possible in the Oregon Conference. They carry pajamas. What can I say?
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
I don't know what you were thinking she would buy, but I think... Okay, I've got to get my composure back here. Funny. Okay. In just a minute, we're going to have the final 10-minute testimony of our weekend, and that is going to be from one of the gals you've been hearing from in the music team this weekend, and that is Ashley Press. She is the most precious young mother that you'll ever meet. She and her husband, so dedicated to the Lord, and they are just solid rock pillars of our church. And I was just so pleased when I asked her if she would be willing to share her testimony this morning, that there was just a glow and an instantness in saying yes. And so I thank you for that, Ashley. I think she's probably rethought that a few times since then, but we're really thankful, Ashley, that you're going to do that. But just before you come up, I just want to say that on behalf of all of my team, we want to thank you for your encouragement and your support. And I want to thank the people at our satellite sites who were willing to take a risk with us, who were willing to go on a little adventure with us this year. And I want to just run through the names of our satellite sites. We have Astoria, Riverside, Forest Grove, Grants Pass, Lentz, Tillamook, Canyonville, Myrtle Creek, and Milo all kind of went together for the Canyonville site. East Salem, Bend, Eugene, Baker City, Reno, Nevada, David Ballard, I have connections there, that's where I grew up. Rogue River, David Ballard, I said the name of the pastor instead of the town. What's the name of the town? Newburgh, yes, thank you. Sorry, Newburgh, but now you get mentioned multiple times, so that works. Richland, Washington, and we have somebody who's been watching from Silver Spring, Maryland. So, yes, thank you. It has been exceedingly abundantly beyond what we could have asked or imagined. To God be the glory.